They are taking our kids every day. I shout them in and no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, God damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up like thin tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. Give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Stopping.
All right. Well, strike number 2 for Darren. Let's just get it out of the way now. My fault again last night. Apologize to everybody. Shit went down, and yep, that happened. So it was my fault, not Tiff's, not anybody else's, but my own. So we'll just get that one out right now. It wasn't because I was like out at a bar or anything like that. It was a real, type of emergency, but it was my fault. So we'll put that one under the rug as number 7, and we'll just keep on keeping on. So I do apologize, and let's go from there. So what's up, Tiff?
Not much. So tomorrow we have to do one during the day because I have one of my meetings tomorrow night.
Okay.
So we'll go on early.
Okay.
So I watched those shorts today. OMG.
Yeah, they're good, right?
I was laughing. I was dying over here.
Did The American flag, the Pledge of Allegiance one killed me. Like that was by far the best. Do you guys remember that episode when we were trying to remember the Pledge of Allegiance? Does everybody remember that one?
I said,
Because
look
that's
at
funny
my
as hell.
face. Look how stupid I look. That one got 1.1K.
I know, right? Isn't it crazy? It's absolutely nuts. Um, absolutely nuts. It was. Do you know some of those had like 1.8 thousand or something like that before I was even done some of them? I don't understand it. Like some of them have so many, and then some of them are so damn spaced out. Um, it's freaking nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I don't understand it, but that's in the world for the algorithm to figure out, I guess. Um, but yeah, they are funny. I don't know if anybody checked them out, but check out the shorts. And I know that Danielle and Brenda have been doing a lot of them too. Gunner's done some of them, and that's what we're gunning for, trying to get the word out. Trying to get the word out there so that we can get people into this fight. The other night when we were talking, we had that show Monday night. Um, that I hope that made a lot of people leave this show and think a lot about what's going on with this whole situation for real. I hope a lot of people got the opportunity to like sit back and be like, maybe I should be more. There's more to this than what we were just talking about. Um, it's this is bad. What's happening? It's very bad, and it's not just because our kids are being taken, but it's because everybody's kids are being stolen and they're being forced to do bad things. And if that's not enough to curdle your stomach, no matter what, then I don't know what is. And how we don't get more parents that haven't had their kids involved in CPS to want to be aware of what to look for and how to look for it and things like that. Like how do we do this? Because unfortunately, we have to look at this like this. Those of us that are in this fight right now, like we have to kind of look at it like this. Like we lost, or we our kids are sacrifices to this cause. Really, I'm not saying that our fights are over by far. I'll fight for my kid until the last day that I can fight for her, and that's the facts. But we need to look at it like, all right, like we paid the ultimate price for this, god damn it, and we're not going to let this happen anymore to anybody else. It doesn't matter what we have to do from sea to shining sea. Like we need to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else's kid ever again. Whether it's just the fact that they got taken and got put with a neighbor down the street, but you never saw your kid again. All of this is freaking bad. And we've just got to figure it out. We got to figure it out.
I got a call yesterday. Me and Spanny have been working with this lady. This has now been 2 years. She's out of West Virginia. The last time I talked to her, she was taking it to the West Virginia Supreme Court. Well, I got a call yesterday. She won.
Oh, good. That's good. In
OMG.
West Virginia, yeah, hell yeah.
Did the Supreme Court rip the judge's ass apart?
Oh, good.
So
that was from the Superior Court now, or from the other courts?
from the West Virginia Supreme Court.
Right, but who were they challenging? Were they challenging the
CPS.
Right, but what court made a decision on this already?
Well, I don't know what county it was in, but the state
No, right.
Supreme
But
Court.
was it like the district court, or was it the Superior Court, or
No,
where
the
was the
Supreme Court of West Virginia, the big court before you go
I
to the
understand.
Supreme.
They made this ruling, but they ruled on a decision from what court? From where? What part of the system?
Well, they lost in family court. They appealed it to the appellate court, lost in appellate. Supreme Court said absolutely not. Grandparents should have had this child. Judge knew better. Send it back. The judge must redo it. So pretty much what they said is you have to give these grandparents custody and you better get your shit together because now we're watching you.
That's awesome. That's freaking great news.
Yeah, I told her to keep me updated.
Mm-hmm.
Once she gets a copy of her case, she's going to send it to me so I can read it. But actually, there was one more that it didn't deal with CPS. It dealt with child custody, but it was West Virginia Supreme Court again, right? Because the juvenile court said you have physical joint physical custody or whatever. Joint custody, you get the same amount of time. Well, by the time the dad got to see the child, it wasn't split, right? So he appealed it, lost, appealed it again, and he appealed it to the district court, lost, appealed it to appellate court, went to the West Virginia Supreme Court, and they said absolutely not. 50-50 means dad gets 182.5 days, mom gets 182.5 days. That is so ordered in the court. So the man that took on their legal system won there too.
That's
that was
awesome.
3 years ago.
But does that stuff stand? Like, do they, because like, you know how I have that case up here where that gentleman won twice. And still 10 years later, 10 years later, there's still no kids, you know, and they've been told, the Supreme Court told them to go back, fix their errors, rule the right way. And they still haven't done it, you know, like, and we're kind of like baffled. Like, what do you do when the Supreme Court tells you that, you know, you've won this, and then the district court says, fuck them. Like, what do you do?
Well, that's a violation of a court order. Right?
So
because you need to file a motion to show cause. That's a violation of a court order. If you did it, you'd be in jail. If I did it, I'd be in jail.
Facts.
And you need to file criminal charges on the judge for violating a court order.
Does that follow under the guidelines of immunity? If you file for violating a court's order, does that bypass the immunity thing?
Yeah, because now you're being charged as a criminal.
Okay.
Nobody's above the law.
Yeah.
The same laws that apply to us average Joe Schmoes apply to everybody.
I agree.
So we'll see what happens. She's going to keep me updated and send me a copy of her ruling.
Good for those guys for doing that. That's awesome. They got that. That's good. That's really cool. That's what we need more of. We need more wins, you know, like we need more. I think it's the boots on the ground is what we don't really have. These fucking lights are killing me. That's what we really don't have, is we don't have the boots on the ground. And it's not that we don't have the boots on the ground. We don't have the ones that are winning. Like that's a great story right there for Spanny and the grandparents' rights, because they haven't had a damn win in a long time. The grandparents, you know, like they've just been stuffed in a corner and left to die, really. I mean, that's what CPS has done to them. Wait till APS gets a hold of them, right? And then they'll get their shit off of them then. You know, that's awesome, Chris, that your son's out of there. But you know, like that's good for them. We need some of that from on the CPS side now. Let's go. Let's get some of these victories so that we can share them with everybody. And, you know, like in Spanny's case, you know, like she'll send you the case and everything. Let's see how these people won, and let's duplicate it and let's win. Let's fucking win, you know?
Well, as soon as I get it, I'm going to forward it to you too. But yeah, she was so excited. She called me. And she's like, make sure you tell Spanny, but Spanny's on a whole different, she texted me at 4:30 this morning. Now I don't even look at my phone until 5:30 or 6. And I just told her to call me when she could, because I knew if I called her, it was 4:30 here. I know it was 12:30 or 1:30 her time. So I hope Spanny's watching.
Yeah, you were in for it. Right. You was in for it. You were going to go for the long duration. Yeah, you were. That's funny.
But that's some good news. I'm glad. I said that win for you is another win for the cause. That's what I told.
Absolutely it is. Like that's how we work together right there. That's it. That's victory for all of us that are fighting. It's victory for every damn one of us that are out there fighting.
And she never gave up. She never gave up.
Oh. Let's see. Dr. Death's here talking about some stuff. This is some pretty severe stuff here. I got told yesterday by a worker that the reason they took my kids Where's things at here? Come on back now. Here we go. Let's see where they go. They got told yesterday by a worker that the reason they took my kids was because I didn't let their doctor examine my kid, as told in a court order, and told the worker that they are violating my rights. Then she said that that's not how this works, so they're holding that against me and not giving my kids back to me and my wife.
Yeah, he sent me an email, so
Okay.
I did get your email. I responded to your email. I will get up with you tomorrow or Friday, and I will help you with what you asked for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where we're at with that one.
Yeah.
Uh, wow, that sucks. Like the first of all, if the judge didn't order that holdup, then that's illegal. First and foremost, the judge is the only one. People, the judge is the only person that can stop any sort of communications with you and your child. Full blown, 100% fact. You have to be ordered, not and your child also, if I believe right, if they get the restraining order on you or whatever, it goes both ways, right? Like it goes like, so you can't talk to your kids and the kids can't talk to you, right? Isn't that how that? Most parents try to opt away from that whole restraining order thing because they don't want that to hurt their chances or their obligate or their. If you get a restraining order against your kid, you might as well kiss your shit goodbye. You're not going to get another chance of getting your kid back. So don't do anything foolish in this times that we're all trying to figure this stuff out. Because if you do get a restraining order, like void ab initios, any of those things, that's everything's gone. Everything's out the window because you did something that was fucked up that was now made a threat to that kid's life, or that's what they're saying anyway. Um, you know,
So there was a court order to take them to their doctor, or there was not.
I didn't let their doctor. I did not let their doctor examine my kids as told in a court order.
You
Yeah.
should have challenged the court order. Now you have to take
Mm,
them to their doctor. But you also need to find a doctor that you can take them to outside of CPS,
mm-hmm,
because in the webinars that me and Darren have been in,
mm-hmm,
this law firm clearly and outright says the truth. They are owned, operated, and paid by CPS. Their own
mm-hmm,
doctors, their own psych people, their own drug testing labs. They're all owned by CPS.
mm-hmm. Facts. 100% facts. Don't even. But how come no one does this? How come we don't hear this? How come we don't hear? And I just thought of this, and tell me if I'm wrong. We do hear this or whatever. But how come we don't hear a second opinion is my right as a patient and as a patient and as a my kids guardian and so on. How come we don't hear more people challenging that with just a second opinion as the right of the patient?
Well, here's the thing. If the state already has custody of them, the second opinion is going to come from another CPS doctor
Right.
who's and paid for.
Who's waiting? Yeah, who's waiting for this one? He's the second, yeah, the on-call one.
Right?
But no, if you go in there and you say, Judge, I want a second opinion, and so on and so forth. If you go down with that, do you think that that's plausible? I mean, I've never heard anybody challenging it that way. Just like marriage is your freedom of religion. So for them to ask you to split up your relationship is them attacking your freedom of religion, on top of so many other things, freedom of speech, all of those things. So I mean, there's just a lot of ways that we can be going about these things. I just have never heard it be put in there that way.
Um, what you should have done was objected, because now the kid's probably already been seen, because you can say, I object to this whole court hearing, everything in this court order. You can object to everything. That automatically gets you an appeal. And
Mm-hmm.
as far as I've had parents call me, oh, Tiffany, they're putting COVID in my kid and da da da. I said, fuck it. I'm just going to say what I said. I said, all you have to say is Jehovah Witness. They got to prove that you're not.
Mm-hmm. Then go knock at their door.
Don't do that. Because they don't believe in putting injections, transfusions. They don't believe in any of that. If God is not working on them, they're not allowed to have any transfusions, no they're not supposed to have none of that. Not even DNA.
Right. Now that's Jehovah's Witnesses. That's that like Amish too. Is that? I think they're just like that too, right? The Amish people.
I don't think they really mess with the Amish people because the Amish people don't recognize anybody but the federal government. I don't think too many Amish kids have been taken away. And the ones that did, I think the Mormons
Yeah,
had their
Mormons. Yep.
kids
Yep.
taken.
Yep.
Remember that big old rally?
Yep. Yep.
Well, all those kids had to be returned.
Yeah, wasn't that those kids out in Montana, right, or something at that compound or something? There was like all those
It was
families.
either Montana or Utah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the courts made CPS return all the children.
Wow, every one of them, huh?
I believe so. Every single one of them.
Returns kids. Let's see here.
That is true. But you have to prove that they're violating their oath to first do no harm, right? Because how are you going to prove that they're harming the child with the court order that the judge said you had to take this child to? I see. This is where they get you. This is where things get tricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to object. Then you can tell the courts, they can take them to their doctor, but I too want to go outside of CPS and take my child to my own doctor. It's always better to do it that way so that they don't think, that you're paying them off when the courts damn well know CPS is paying for these evaluations and these doctors. The courts know.
Mm-hmm. Of course they do. But that's where it goes into, like you say, how much money's in it for them. That's really what that's what it breaks down to.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Now this is I just hit up a question this whole like Montana and CPS returning kids, which they did. I passed that, and the Colston family, is that them? But I saw then what they
Gunner said it was Utah. I knew it was one of them Mormon states.
Montana providers. I don't see how they can even possibly, the amount of things that they're requiring these people to do. Like, this money could have went back to these damn families and then made a fucking great, family reunification. Put them on some weekend trips together or something, monitoring how they are, giving them tips in their ears, like, hey, look, blah blah blah, because it's clear that there's, there's family unity and bonding going on in these programs that they have. They have a ton of these. I know that you guys aren't looking at the same thing I am. 51 children in CPS care now have new families. Oh, because it's adoption. Oh, November's adoption awareness month. But isn't this month something too?
I don't know.
I think that this month is.
Look, I've hired attorneys before, but I've fired plenty. I remember I told the judge asked something and my lawyer went to say something and I knew he was going to not get it right. I said, don't say a word. And I said, Your Honor, this is the deal. And I told him, So when your lawyers aren't doing what you're asking them to do, you have to have a backbone and say, don't say a word, I'll take it from here. Because if you don't, nothing's going to be accomplished.
Right.
And even if they say, well, you need to sit down because you have counsel. I had a judge tell me that one time, and I looked at him, I said, you're fired. Your Honor, I don't have counsel anymore. So now I'm speaking on my own behalf.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to take control of the reins because they're just leading you right to the slaughter unless you got a real good one. And there's only one here in Virginia that I send people to.
No, let's see here. God, I'm trying to see improves customer service. All right, here's one for grandparents right here that we just had the other. Parents concerned about child development services. Report missing from Manhattan school.
If you're a Mennonite, you have a religion that you stick to. And if they gave your child vaccinations against your consent, you need to, you should have sued them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because until you lose your parental rights, you're supposed to be at the doctor's appointments. You're supposed to be getting
Yeah,
stuff from the
everything.
schools,
Yep.
everything.
Everything. Yep. You're supposed to be just as involved as you were if you were just you were like if you were just a freaking you were still involved.
Yeah, because you're still their parent and you
Right.
still have those rights.
Yep. Freaking crazy. And they're, like, again, those are those things that if they don't shut you down, if the court does not order you to stop and seize those visits, then you do not stop and seize those visits.
And document everything.
Yep.
In fact, if they start doing that shit, file a motion to show cause on CPS. Serve it right to their damn lawyer.
Yep. Yep. That's what you do for sure. I cannot tell you how important writing everything down is, and what's more important than that, I found, and after the fact, and like dealing with people in their cases and stuff, that I found has been like absolutely crucial, is emails. Don't talk to these people on the phone anymore. Don't communicate with them whatsoever on the telephone or via your text. I mean, via your text a little bit because you can still get that, but those can be messed with. Email. And then when you get those emails, email a copy to a stranger or someone that has nothing to do with the case. That way that you can even see that. That way if it has to come back like, oh, well, you sent it to Billy Bob, which was, someone in this case. And, somehow that gets screwed on you. Send it to a complete random stranger. Send them to them that way that they know that they got it. They know that it's an accurate document, and do that right in there. Keep your notes as those emails come and turn around. Force them to make emails come to you. You will find it makes a tremendous difference in how they respond to you, how they treat you, because they know that you have this information in stone. Verbatim for what they said. So that's a huge, 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 huge thing, in my opinion.
It is huge because emails and text messages are allowed in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm. Even when so how does that work? If court's in session, you can still videotape, even if they label the courts are non-video proof. I know that we're going through that in certain aspects of certain cases that we're all working on. But I mean, is that part of that deal? Like if they say no videos beyond this point or whatever, is that part of that argument?
Well, actually, there is a paper that you can file, a petition to record in the courtroom or get recordings in. So you just have to ask the clerk because they're not like on the main websites.
Right.
And we should be recording anyway. The Supreme Court said we can record anybody in public, especially people, quote unquote, who work for the government.
Mm-hmm. It's our duties.
It is our duty.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it sure the hell is.
If your case is still active and you're a Mennonite, you need to immediately start using your religion.
Yeah.
Immediately.
No.
Whether they like it or not.
Okay. Check this thing out. I mean, this. Okay. Well, YouTube ads. Wow. Um. Watch. Check this one out, Tiff. Let me get here.
The past month.
Brandon Walker. But we begin with that story you'll see only on 2 tonight. Children missing from a Houston CPS facility. Good evening. I'm Bill Baessa.
Hello, I'm Dominique Soxa. Houston police tell us that they have had dozens of missing person cases linked to Harris County Youth Service. It's off of Chimney Rock Road, and all of this has happened in just the past month.
Brandon Walker spoke with one mother who has no idea where her daughter even is tonight. Brandon.
Yeah, Bill, by no means is this an easy issue. On one end, you've got CPS, and they tell us that their facility here, the emergency shelter, is not a juvenile detention center. And so with that being said, they can't make a child stay here if that child chooses to leave this facility. On the other end, you've got the parents of those children who have run away, including one mom of a 12-year-old girl who tonight just wants to know where her daughter is.
She is in grave danger.
Dana McDermott Derflinger is a mother with a broken heart.
I'm very scared for her.
Her 12-year-old daughter, Skylyn McDermott, is missing.
She's on the streets, and there's no telling what is happening with her.
Skylyn's story is a troubled one. Since October, she hasn't lived with Mom. She's been in CPS custody. Much of that time spent here at the agency's shelter in Southwest Houston.
It's where we bring our children that need placement.
It's also, it seems, a place from which some children waiting to be placed, Skylyn included, choose to run.
She said she didn't like it there.
Here's a rundown of calls HPD made to the facility last month. Within that time, there were 79 calls about a missing person. Some of them involved repeat runaways like Skylyn.
Unbelievable.
I want so much for her to get the help that she needs. I was counting on CPS to do that for me.
We want our kids to stay with us, but we can't force them to stay.
That's the challenge, says CPS. If only it were an easy one, they say.
You can't make these kids stay. It's not a jail. They're not inmates. They're children.
They are children, says Dana McDermott Derflinger. Her message to her child?
Please be safe. Call me. Let me know that you're okay. Let me know that you're alive. And I love you.
A mother's plea tonight. CPS adds that it works with Houston police, hence those calls, to locate those children who are missing and to bring them back to that facility. With that being said, if you have any information that may lead to finding Skylyn McDermott, you're asked to call the Houston Police Missing Persons Unit. That number on our website, click2houston.com. On the Southwest side tonight, I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
There it is. We talk about it all the time.
So the first clue for CPS should have been the child wants to go home. Why couldn't she go home? She had to run away. I hope they find her. But I hate to say this. I'm sure some pimps or the P. Diddy crew picked them up and they're trafficking them. Can't make the children stay. Since when?
Yeah, you tell your kids you don't move from that spot. You stay right the hell there and whatever. You know what I mean? Like they'll get over it. They'll adapt. You know, like it's supposed to be your job as a foster parent to make them comfortable until the point that they're reunified with their family. So if they can't make these kids comfortable enough that they want to leave, maybe we should start looking into what are these foster families doing to these kids. I mean, because yes, you have that instant. You're not my mom and dad. I'm sure that's used a lot by these kids. You're not my mom or my dad, which is pretty
true.
Right. But it's I just don't understand. You know what? I'm in a big phase of I don't understand, and I don't know if that's because I'm like regenerating myself into something new or trying to figure some things out. But I just don't. I don't get why we're not addressing these things. Why these kids are being tortured, and we all know about it, and we can't do anything about it. It's not if it's we can't or we not or we're not. Like, what are we doing? What are we missing? Because they can't be this well-oiled machine. Can't be getting away with all of this stuff on accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't an accident that this stuff is going down this way and these kids are being stolen this way and they're being, like all of this is down to a science, so how do we break the science apart? Yeah, it is. We take away their money. How do we take away their money? We take away the way that they get kids. So there we go. There's the answer to that question. So how do we do that? Like, we get the local legislators to start trying to pass these bills, that mimic the one in Florida, what is it, the big deal? What is it? Trump calls it the pretty sweet deal or
Oh, the big beautiful bill.
big beautiful bill. Yeah, something like that. Big beautiful. God, Trump. Yeah, this bill is just beautiful. Yeah, big beautiful bill. Man. So for not making sure my teenager had a cell phone that I paid for on her 100% one of the time because the cell phone is privilege, not an essential. I know, but you've been, yeah, you've been good.
Look here. The Supreme Court of the United States has already said, as long as a parent takes care of the basic needs, and the law says basic needs are food, shelter, and clothing. It didn't say cell phones, running water,
Right.
electricity. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't say televisions. It didn't say video games. It didn't say any of that. Food, clothes, and shelter. That's it. And the shelter doesn't even have to be brick and mortar. The clothes can come from the Goodwill.
Salvation Army, yeah.
Right. And you can get food from the food pantries. So they didn't say how you had to provide it. They
Mm-hmm.
just said that's what the kids' basic needs
Yeah,
are.
it says Mikey instead of Nike. That's fine. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, let's just do whatever you got to do to get these kids clothes and put them back in the system. Because if we do this right and we teach them enough about themselves to give them the self-esteem and the self-respect that they need, they're not going to care that they're wearing Mikey's and not Nike's. That doesn't matter to them. The fact that they feel loved, cared for, and they're with a good family, and that family's waiting for them inside to tell us about their day, and all of these things. Like, those are the things that you need as a foster child. You need to feel that warmth because, like it or not, I'm sure there's a feeling of abandonment that you receive from your children too. I'm sure that there's a, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Are you frozen there? Are you reading too? Hey, did you see the clock up there?
What clock?
The clock in our middle.
No, why? Oh, yeah, I see it.
So this has been running for almost 24 hours.
No, mine says 41 minutes and 2 seconds.
Well, someone sent us something. Mm-hmm. So what my question was, does anybody know? We run our, usually we use this timer on the top, tells us what time we've been in and how long we've been on for. Today it says 23, 36, 27. And I know that we haven't done that.
Are you sure you're not on military time?
No, it definitely is on, yeah, it definitely is on military time. Now she's really checked by doctor now or get caps, call for denial of critical care. Oh yeah, you definitely need to do that. No doubt. Jesus. My oldest ran away from the residential treatment facility after a fight with her father. Spent 4 days in a homeless camp and put a stranger's contacts in her own eyes.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
that's really something.
Mm. Mm. Wow.
Yeah, Jesus. And I've been trying to unpurposely doing the other things I've been doing. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So,
I remember Spanny called me one day and was like, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" She said, "You want to tell me how a 2-month-old got up out of a crib and ran away from home, from a foster home?"
yeah, right.
I said, "Well, damn, Spanny, I think that child needs to be in the Guinness Book of World Records."
Yeah, Olympics anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And we still don't know if they ever found the baby.
That's
We
scary.
don't
I
know.
mean, it's absolutely scary to lose your kid like that, to lose a kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it, man. You gotta be. Look, if they're your kids and you love them through and through and all that stuff, absolutely, they're your kids, man. Don't let any of that go away because someone else came and stole them and want them to be, a family unit again. And this is what they've done for 16 years: is play this role of adulting, I guess you would call it. They get $7,000 in the pump and yeah, that's
The
it.
entire system
Hmm.
sets everybody up to fail. It
Yeah,
doesn't
all
matter
the
what
time.
it is.
That's why you get
On
a
your
GAL.
failure, right? Your failure is their profit.
Hmm. Yep. No, I found in the things up here in Maine that it says that there's two ways a judge gets authorized to order a GAL in a case.
Oh,
One
yeah?
is termination of parental rights. Two is that there's previously an adoption that was in the makings and is on the table. That's the only two ways that you get a guardian ad litem appointed by the courts. So why is it that every time CPS takes your kid in the state of Maine, CPS is involved, um, and you get a guardian ad litem immediately. So they're lying to us. They're completely lying to us, telling us that there's reunification, or the judges are going above and beyond what the Congress and the Senate of the state of Maine is saying that they're authorized to do. So where's the answer to that one?
Well, that's an abuse of power. That's a color of law.
Right.
Um,
So,
but if parents don't understand when they sign a safety plan
mhm,
that they've just signed a plea bargain, right? Yes, I did what you're alleging I did. From the
mhm,
day you sign that safety plan, you have automatically
mhm,
consented to your child being adopted.
right. Mhm. That's crazy too. What is it that you sign on that birth certificate? You sign your name under something. I forget what it says under there. It doesn't say parent. It says like uh
Mother, mine says
it says
mother, father,
does it say mother?
child.
All right.
But I was born in 1970, so I don't know what the new ones are saying.
How do you identify as a baby?
Right.
Are you his, her, this, that? Um so yeah, I don't know. My point to that whole thing was I don't know how long we had been on here for. Whether it had been
46
a day.
minutes.
All right. So we're putting 5 minutes on there. All right. Um, well, I was seeing if we had room for something, but I guess we don't now. I have to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do it tomorrow when we do our
Early.
show in the
Yeah.
early show.
Yep. That'll be fun. I mean, I like morning stuff sometimes. It's a good time. We get to wake up early or maybe go to bed after the show is taped or, because you've been up from doing all this stuff it's so funny, like you get on here at nighttime, you get on here during the day. If you go to Facebook and none of the green lights are on, nobody's on Messenger or nothing. You get on here at 3 a.m, looks like a Christmas tree. You know, it's
Um,
nuts.
I also wanted to tell everybody that my rally made the paper again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're gonna go live. I just hope the
Mm-hmm.
internet works better this time because we have to have it at the same park.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. But it's in the paper. It's on my Facebook page, and I put girls. Those are our little warriors. I said, girls, we made the paper again. So our rally is June 22nd,
Yeah.
and we will go live at 1.
June 22nd, live at 1. And June 22nd.
And we're going to start it, we're going to have people speaking about their cases that are happening here. So we will have parents speaking about the corruption going on in Winchester, Virginia, and Frederick County, Virginia.
Also, don't forget, we have Donald Trump's birthday coming up next week or this weekend.
It's this Saturday.
Yeah, so that's we're doing another Mr. President. 7 o'clock, right? I think we decided on. Is that too early for you, or do you want to go 8 o'clock? Because I know it's summer now. Do you want to push it up a little bit?
Let's do 8 because that'll give me a chance to put them to bed.
All right, so 8 o'clock this Saturday, the main event for Donald Trump to pay attention to us and watch. Send this stuff to the
White
House and all of that stuff. Let them know that we're coming. I got a thing in that I'll have out tomorrow for you guys. You can send it out to whomever you want. Yeah, Athena, do it. Get around you guys.
Well, you're in Alaska. I'm not coming to Alaska, but I'll do it on
me and Darren will be there on live. If they're paying for the bus, we're going.
Bus? We got bus. I think we got we can go through Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I'm not getting on the airplane.
That's a long flight.
Well, no, they're just falling out of the damn sky. My sister said, Tiffany, when Dad dies, you got to get on the airplane. I'll meet you at Dulles. I said, you go ahead and get on the airplane. I'll meet you there in 3 days.
That's what Big Bopper said to Richie Valens.
So you go ahead and get on.
Yeah. Jesus almighty. What a day that was. Big Bopper and Richie Valens, man. That was quite a day. I don't remember where I was. I don't have an alibi for that day. But I think actually I wasn't alive yet, to be honest.
To throw a rally, all you have to do is get people like you to spread the word in your area. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see it's a orange ribbon and it says something about CPS. I don't have it in front of me. Just read what ours says from the paper, post it, and see how many people come out. And then you got to figure out what you want to talk about. My first one was about constitutional rights and the corruption and a little bit of my story. But my kids distracted me because they were there. And then my grandkids showed up. That really distracted me. And Darren was there, but I couldn't hear him. So,
I was too. I was in the phone. So
rallies aren't hard. You just got to get the people there.
Yeah, all this stuff to bring it to you isn't hard. You're right, and that should show you the other thing is to get people involved. It's very difficult.
Yep.
Hey, Louis, right here. It's informant. That's what it says on your birth certificate when your parent signs away. That first thing it says informant. He's absolutely right. On your birth. You never saw that. You never knew that. When they sign that first original live birth thing or whatever it is, the first paperwork they sign doesn't say mom or dad. It says informant.
I'm gonna have to go get me a birth certificate, a blank one.
Well, as a matter of fact, I happen to have one.
Oh, send it to me.
No, they have when you're filling it out, like your first paperwork for your kid, they give you that little packet, you're filling it out. Yeah, we should get one and open it up and show everybody. Yeah, it says informant. That was one of David Strait's, God rest his soul. But that was one of his big things was them not ever signing it proper, and getting away with calling you an informant. So that tells you that there's something else down their road. Why are they calling you an informant? If they're, you know what I mean? What are their intentions for you?
Exactly. John, I would have to, does Canada have a constitution? I would have to learn Canada's constitution if I came to Canada and did a rally. The hell, they might not let me in.
Yeah, now knowing this new information.
Well, no, because even if I get a pardon and I got my rights back, No, they'll be like,
Yeah, they're not
mm-mm, you
letting you in
bombed the
there. Full
federal
team
building,
gun.
Miss Wise. You
Yeah,
can't come in our country.
that's what we're gonna start calling you is Torch. Torch is Tiffany's new nickname. People, Torch.
Uh,
Yeah,
you might have to cross the border into America.
Torch. Yeah, not to Georgia though. We can't go there.
Yeah, we're not going to Georgia. We'll go around Georgia. Well, it doesn't matter. Your country's not going to let me in. I'm telling you, trust me. And I told my brother-in-law, the senator, if he ever runs for president, he's going to have to pardon me so I can even get through security to see my sister.
Right? Just say they call it informant because you're giving your kid away.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
the
really
Supreme
find that
Court
that
said children are not created by the state. That's what he said.
Mhm.
That's what they said. They are not a mere creation of the state. And that's in the 154 cases that I sent you, Darren.
Yep, I know that
It's
one.
right in there.
Mhm.
So I don't care what they're saying.
Mhm.
The Supreme Court is the court of the land.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Supreme Court. Yeah. But we need to start getting people back into that mode to make it so that the supremacy clause holds ground. Right? Like that's what we got to do. Like that's part of this whole whatever the
Revamp.
hell. Revamp. Like we need to get people back in the things and be like, oh, okay, we can do this. Yeah, we can. We can put as yes, we can. We live by a
And that's one of the
constitution.
reasons.
Mhm.
That's one of the reasons I'm going to be doing these rallies, and then we're going to go to seminars next
Mhm.
month. But we have to teach people about the Constitution, because people will be like, well, I know my rights, but ask them what one of their rights are, and how can they effectively use it in the court of law.
Right.
They
If you don't
can't.
know, then it's might as well
Right.
just kiss your ass goodbye.
Because if you don't use them, you lose them.
Right.
And if you don't know how to use them, then we're going to teach you how to use them.
Yeah, that's it. Because if you act a fool up there, they'll run you right through the gamut. If you go up there trying to act like you either are impersonating someone with that knowledge or whatever, or you're really not, we didn't file the paperwork properly or something, like you can't, you know what I mean? Like you got to be right on top of this stuff. Rules, regulations, policies, procedures, all of this stuff you need to know is in line with what they say and what the Constitution says. Because the littlest, stupidest thing can knock your case right out of whack if you're not paying attention to this stuff, and you lose your kids because you didn't have a screw on the right size of something. You know what I mean? Like that's not good. So
The good thing is half these CPS workers, judges, and lawyers, they don't even know what's in the fucking Congress doesn't even know what's in the Constitution, and they swear to uphold it. And they don't know their own policies and procedures. They don't really know the code, statutes, and ordinances, rules, and regulations. But to be honest with you, none of that is a law anyway. Every state has one law, the Constitution of that state. There's only one superior law of the land. The state constitution cannot conflict with the Constitution of the United States. So when they're saying they're making laws, even I say it sometimes, and I got to catch myself. They're not making laws. They're making codes, statutes, rules, regulations, and policies.
That's the truth too. And
Yeah.
like they're teaching this stuff in school about them writing. Yeah, I don't know if I believe in all of that, but yeah.
Well, of course, they're going to say safety is more important than the Constitution, but there's a phrase in the Constitution also. So I got to find it, but it says no emergency overrides the
Mhm.
Constitution of the United States.
Mhm.
None.
Exactly. Zip, zero, zilch, nada.
Not one emergency. By
Mhm.
law, they can't even kick your door in on exigent circumstances or imminent danger because they just went against the Constitution, because it clearly states no emergency supersedes the Constitution.
Right. Right. They, yeah, no, nothing. Nothing supersedes the Constitution. So don't let them fool you with any of that. We can't let them.
Nobody,
Mm-mm.
nothing. In fact, the government is an entity. It's not a breathing person. They have no rights. The government has no rights.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. They do not. All right. Well, yeah, that's it. So, what do you think there, Tiff? I think Brenda is, what night is today?
It's Wednesday because tomorrow I got a meeting, so we're going to do a show early.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about 10 if you're up.
I'm be up. I'm always up.
Me learn how to sleep.
Yeah, I do. And I'm learning how to beat this sleep apnea thing. I've been noticing. If my eye starts to shut, I need to like ring a bell or something. Because see, I don't realize it when it happens. Like or you'll see like my eye goes, woo, like it's going to look over there, and then I'll catch it. And that's when I know I gotta like shift my position or whatever, because that means I'm getting ready, and I'll pass out and I won't even notice that I did it. It's weird because I can hear everything that's going on. It's almost like you're in like a coma. You know what I mean? Like, because I can hear everything you're talking about, and I can come out and I can respond to it. I might have said some sort of ridiculous thing that was with it. Like, oh, 1,800 pounds of seafood came in, or like something stupid. But like I can hear it, and you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's the weirdest damn thing. It's very strange. But I'll tell you this: you're freaking tired. You're so tired all the time because your body thinks it's going to sleep and it's not. You're tricking your body out constantly. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now I got you. We're gonna go to sleep. You're like, nope, not yet, not yet. I didn't decide for you. But yeah,
Well, if
it's
you
getting
need
better.
if you need to sleep, they make this tea that I drink sometimes. It's called sleepy time tea, especially when I
Yeah,
fuck around and drink a cup of coffee after 1 o'clock.
yeah,
I'll drink some sleepy time tea and it
mhm,
works.
yeah, yep,
So we'll see everybody in the morning because I
yeah.
got a
What
meeting
time do you
tomorrow
want to do this? 10 o'clock, you said.
10 o'clock.
10:00. I'm writing it down in the book. I'm gonna put it on here. I'll put a little reminder up there for everybody. That way, 'cause I know that it's vacation, first night of vacation for a lot of you out there too. So I'm sure that the last thing that you, or the first thing that you're thinking of is waking up to our CPS show in the morning. Trying to
Yeah,
find a
well, when
damn
I
time.
have something scheduled, I got to stay on that schedule. So, like, remember I
Yep,
talking to you earlier and I had a meeting?
yep, yes, I do. I
So I
sure
got it
do.
on my schedule.
Tiff,
10
you are
o'clock
an
tomorrow.
important. You are very important. Uh, you are an important person.
Well, I don't think so. I just, when I'm on it, when I have something scheduled, I try not to forget.
Right. Well, you are a very, very important and special person. So,
Well, thank
uh,
you. You are
yeah.
too.
All right. We are gonna just listen to this and get out of here. I think tonight we have Brenda. Is tonight Wednesday or Thursday? Wednesday, right? Yeah, it is, buddy. You'll see where to go from there. We'll keep picking up where you guys know. You know where to go. All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow morning.
Tried to save the family's golden rule. In the snowy reach of Alaskan nights, Spanish stands tall for everyone's rights. so tired of living scared. I have to do something for me. I can't take the pressure, but I have to. No one will live my life for me. I need to know I'm better than this, that no one person who wronged me broke me. I was once a strong man, taking on everything in my path. When you took my daughter, you broke all I had. With that one action, you got my reaction. I threw my hands in the air, you quit. I try to pull myself together every day. I can't begin to rebuild because I'm so lost. I don't know how to get back the feeling, the one they stole that day. I was viewed as the protector, the strong and wise man to take control. I was put on a pedestal every day. When they took my daughter, they took all that away. I was the rock for my family. I made their dreams into reality. It was always up to me. Now my dreams are nightmares and I can't wake up. My wife laughs at me in silence. In front of her I went from a man to nothing. She feels bad for me and hates who I become. I am so weak right now, she won't leave. In an epitome to her, no one she wants to be with, I don't blame her. Why won't she run away? That's what I'm waiting for, to come home to an empty house with an open door. I am waiting for this. I am not what she thought I was. I couldn't stop this from happening. I couldn't keep my family safe. All I could do is watch it go away. I don't wait for tomorrow. I don't know what to do. I hurt so much inside. I'm sorry I didn't stand up that day. There's nothing worse than watching the ones who love you lose faith. They start to distance from you and then they go. They don't wanna be with one who is weak. They don't wanna be with anyone who caused their daughter to be gone. So I beg to you, God, please lift me up. Make me the man I need to be. I need my life to be saved. Please, let's get started. I have fight inside my body that no one has seen. I've got blood boiling in my veins to